everyone to the Outtakes Podcast. I'm Sam, we're back, and I'm joined by Joe's. That's right, audio listeners, this isn't going to get confusing at all. Please welcome brand new member, Joe, but also, I'm thinking about this, right? We might have to develop like an extra name for you, right? So here's some ones that I was thinking of. You can have the J-Man, M, Murray Man, Jostapher, Seth, Seffi, Rim Boy. I didn't really think a lot of them through. Any of those standing out to you?
I'll accept Murray. I feel that Murray, yeah.
Murray makes it sound like a 60-year-old American man, though. Murray.
I mean, all great people have the surname Murray.
Murray.
Like Bill and Andy and Al.
Nice.
Yeah, Pub Langwood.
That's it. They're the only famous Murrays I know.
I can't think of any famous.
And the
Owens,
Mints.
so.
Murray Mints.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Isn't there a really famous footballer called Owen?
Oh, Michael Owen. Okay, yeah. I mean, other than that, though, I can't think of
Owen
any
Wilson.
others. Oh, no, yeah, no, the first name Owen, maybe, not surname. My dad's name is Michael Owen.
What if you became Joein instead?
Joein. Oh, man, that's all people used to call me in, like, primary.
Oh, no.
Primary school flashbacks. Joein. Well,
before we get started, to welcome Murray, I'm never going to get used to that, to the show, I've got a little getting to know you set of questions courtesy of Forbes. Now there was 55 questions on this list. I've chosen 10 of the very best.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with question number 1. Where do you most hope to visit? Ooh,
that's a good question. Probably Italy. Rome.
Why?
I've always been interested in the Colosseum and the whole architecture-esque. And it's just somewhere where my family were going to Spain because it's warm. So I never really got to experience different cultures other than Spanish, warm weather, beaches, and Irish pubs. So
wow.
Definitely Italy for culture.
Let me ask you a question. Does that at all stem from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood wanting to go to Rome?
I mean,
That's my touch point with Rome.
Well, I wasn't like a massive. I mean, like, obviously I played it and I was like, oh, it's Italy, but I think I just want to go more for myself and experiencing different, cultures because I've never been to Italy before. So,
wow, look at you. That was like an actual good answer. All right, question 2: what brought you here?
Being invited by the host himself.
Question 3: what's one thing you're excited about that's coming up in 2018?
Okay, so I can't wait to start my new job, which is funnily enough where I'll meet you people.
Oh my gosh, it's fate. Number 4: what's your hidden talent?
I can play the trombone.
Really?
Oh my god,
that's amazing.
I'm a grade 4 trombonist.
Oh my god,
that's actually pretty cool.
Oh, it goes up to stupid numbers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I used to play the trombone from like the age of 10 till about 17, 18.
Do you still have access to a trombone?
It wasn't basically like the music teacher at the time kind of gave me one and was like, oh, you can have this as long as you stick it out, do your grades, all that jazz. So it's kind of like my trombone. I don't have it anymore, but I probably could get one. I know a lot of musical people back in Blackpool, so I probably could get one.
Pursue some.
I'm not going to play a song if that's what you're trying to get to.
Yeah, pretty much. What's your most used emoji?
I will find out. Is that like the top left one when you text? Like,
I assume so. Yeah.
It is.
Eggplant.
As basic as it is, it's laughing, crying emoji,
Hey.
followed by throwing up emoji.
Is it laughing, crying emoji normal, or is it laughing, crying emoji tilted? That's the big question.
Oh yeah, the difference.
Normal.
Wow.
Very basic.
What was your last text?
It was to my girlfriend saying "you up" because she's been on night shift. And this was at 20 to 6 p.m.
So we're going to assume that she's not. She's not.
She
up.
hasn't replied,
So she's
not up.
Number 7. Where is your happy place?
Ooh, that's a deep question. Wow, that's ooh. Bonus on Windermere.
Why?
It's just always been my favourite place ever to visit. Don't ask me why. It's just for some reason, ever since I was young, Bonus on Windermere was just my favourite place ever. My ashes will be scattered in Bonus on Windermere. I've decided already. For some reason, it's just like my favourite place ever. So yeah, Bonus on Windermere is my happy place.
They should put that on the ads, like on tourist brochures.
What? Joe's ashes here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. My ashes will be scattered here.
Joe recommend. It's just some dust in the air.
some dust with creating a foam, just in the middle of the air.
We're nearly at the end. This is the exact wording. What do you give a damn about?
Ooh.
Again, courtesy of Forbes. I just want to.
I give a damn about football, sports. I'm a big football fan, big Blackpool supporter. So I always want to check the scores and go to every game I can. I mean, I feel that that's very. Give a damn sounds like I should make it political. I give a damn about racism. I hate it. Let's get it out. But yeah, I'll just say I give a damn in the sense of I care a lot about Blackpool, which is where I'm from. It's a football team. So
nice.
What did you have to give up to achieve your current level of success?
What did I have to give up? Living in Blackpool. There you go. I had to get away from that hellscape that is
Blackpool here.
The third worst place to live in the UK. So
wait, what's number 1?
Somewhat bad if Blackpool's third.
Yeah, it's a great question. Should we find out what the number 1 is?
I'm pretty sure. As of when I made my university final project, it was the third worst, which was when did I make my final project?
Last year, wasn't it?
End of last year.
Blackpool, third worst place to live.
Because I put it as at the beginning it was.
I'm sure my town has been on that list at some point. I remember that being a thing in when we were in high school. I don't think it is anymore. I think it used to be. It was when we were in high school. We were like, oh, it's one of the worst places to live. I know it used to be one of the highest places of teenage pregnancy in the UK, or the highest place at one point, I think. But yeah, there you go. Teenagers getting pregnant.
Here's the closest I can find. Blackpool isn't even there, so good news for Blackpool. Here's a list I can find that includes Peterborough, Huddersfield, Liverpool, Bradford, Hull, Wakefield, Luton, and Jaywick Sands. Are the worst places to live.
A lot of places in Yorkshire area. That's what you're telling me there.
Yes. Yeah, Yorkshire is just the worst place to live.
Wakefield.
I feel wait, is Liverpool the third or something? Did you say?
It's not. I don't.
So the people who would have voted for that, no one was from Liverpool in that situation. You know what I mean? Everyone who doesn't like Liverpool, the only people who love Liverpool are people from Liverpool.
Exactly.
They bloody love Liverpool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Scousers, they absolutely adore it. I mean, some people on the edge. I know people who love Liverpool.
I mean, it's nice enough.
You know what? I mean, it's fine, but I wouldn't say it's the best place to live.
Yeah, it's not somewhere that's I would put on a top 10.
You know what I mean?
Hasn't it been voted a very cultural place as well?
I think
it has a big impact.
Isn't it literally the 08 capital of culture?
I think so. Yeah,
that's
it's
strange.
not Manchester, but it's pretty good still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go Liverpool.
It's the second capital of the north.
It's a better night out than Manchester is. Manchester's a good night out. Liverpool's better. because everything's together. It's good.
I've never been.
You've been saying that for a long time. We need to go out in Liverpool, clearly.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, nothing's beat my experiences. I mean, that's just because I went to Liverpool when I first started going out. I think that's probably why. Nostalgic, you know. Nostalgic.
And finally, Joe, before we get on with the show proper, of what are you most afraid? Again, that's the exact wording. Of what are you most afraid?
This is going to sound really weird, but getting stuck, but in like getting stuck in busy places. For example, this is going to sound really weird, but like when you're in a really busy car park and let's say an event's just finished and everyone's trying to get out at the same time and all the cars are like right next to each other and one has to move an inch, the other has to move an inch, then one has to move an inch. Then situations, I am done. When I lived back in Blackpool, there was like a little country road near my house. We went down it a lot and I hated it. And then the one time we went down it, there was a tractor coming the other way and there was at least 10 plus other cars behind my mum's, which was at the front. And I literally screamed, like I don't think it was a panic attack, but literally lost it completely. Got out the car, walked around this tractor that was blocking the road and just walked home for like 25 minutes because I just couldn't deal with being stuck in a situation like that. I just hate. It's not like I'm not claustrophobic, but it's like situational things like that. I don't know what the word is.
I feel that's more rational than mine. Mine's just like I have a genuine fear of going bald. I just don't want.
We're talking about this today.
I don't want it. I just can't. Like I have this horrible feeling that when I'm in my 50s. I'm gonna go bald. I just don't want it. You know what I mean?
You got a good head of hair.
No, I know I have now, but like I remember when I was in college, it started to thin at the top. Like when a really harsh light is shined on my head, you can like see to about here,
well,
and it stresses me out. I'm like, nah, I've got a weird shaped head. I can't be bald. You know what I mean? I don't want to be bald. Like,
it's your maternal father, isn't it? That you get like your hair genes from. So it's your mum's dad. So
okay, he wasn't bald, but right, it was my nan. It was my nan that did it. That like scared me because she was like, in our family, the baldness skips a generation all the time. So like, her dad was bald, but her dad was bald, but her granddad wasn't. But her great granddad was, and so her dad was my great granddad. So it's like your great granddad. So which means that I'm gonna be the one who's bald, but it's my dad's side.
Only time will tell.
So yeah, exactly. We'll find out in 50 in what I keep looking at my watch, like 30 years. In my 50s, I'll be bald. I've always said though, if it goes any further than like halfway down my head, I'm just shaving it off.
Just gotta do it. I agree.
I'm not gonna be one of those guys that clings onto hair. I'm just going full beard, massive muscles, get rid of all.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I'll just own it. I'll wear a hat.
It's weird, isn't it? It's more tragic when you see someone holding on to it.
Yeah, like combing it all.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Like, dude, just you know what I mean? Just commit. It's like when you see like the CEO. It's a really weird thingy that the CEO of Disney looks like an egg because all he has is like eyebrows and that's it. He looks like an egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, grow a beard, my guy. I know some people can't, but like at least try. You know what I mean? Like, you're always just if there's nothing there. Nah, I don't know. That's my fear. It's going bald. I can't be dealing with it. I don't want it. I can't. I mean, there's other things to be afraid of, like spiders or whatever, but like going bald, it's my fear.
I was gonna say, like the whole getting trapped in a busy place thing. It's a very reasonable thing to be scared of.
Yeah,
it's something that is gonna happen. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you are going to experience it, and I'm not scared of it, but it is stressful. It's so agitating. All right, let's move on with the show for real. We'll start with the news. We've not got much news to go through because not much has been happening. But I've picked out some of it's exciting, some of it's not. Let's start out with not. Well, we'll see. There was a trailer released for the Game of Thrones prequel, and the question I ask you is: does anyone in the world give a single shit about a Game of Thrones prequel?
No. I mean, I didn't know it had Matt Smith in it.
I didn't either. When I saw him, I was like...
I've not watched it. I've not watched the trailer.
I've not watched the trailer either. I've just seen like...
I've seen clips of it.
Like when you go on Twitter and it's like the thumbnail for the trailer.
Yeah.
You might know. It's the Doctor guy.
Yeah.
So I saw the news break of the trailers out, I only ended up watching it because I was prepping for this show. I was like, I should probably watch it if I'm going to talk about it. The only thing I can say about the whole thing, it's purely an aesthetic thing, is they've changed the design of the Iron Throne to look more like the books. In the books, it's described as like ridiculous amounts of swords. So like in the show, it was just a regular chair made of swords. This one, the swords continue down the steps of the throne room. That's the only thing that stood out to me. I was like, production design's been on it. Let's move up one to some actual exciting news. GTA Trilogy, what is it called? Definitive Edition. This is 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, confirmed by Rockstar. It will include updated graphics, which I assume just means upscale to 4K 1080p, and modern control improvements. I'm assuming we're excited.
I mean, I am. Like, I mean, did you play any of the...
I mean, obviously, I never played any of the old ones.
Really?
I understand
They're good.
All the memes and the references, and is that Let's Go Bowling? Is that...
You never played GTA 4? That was the one that was like New York. So like what they did was they did the 3 originals. So like they always seen what GTA 1 and 2 look like. The top down, yeah. And then they made GTA 3, which was like the 3D, and that's set like in what, it's not New York, it's like Liberty City, yeah. And then they did Vice City and San Andreas. And then what they did was with GTA 4, in their own words, they've reset it. So they're not all set in the same universe.
Okay.
So GTA 4 is a remake of Liberty City from 3. GTA 5 is a remake of San Andreas, which is San Andreas, the state of San Andreas. Like, what's the Los Santos is the city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Los Santos is one of the... So in San Andreas, there's 3 cities, and Los Santos is one of them. It's the big... But what they've done is for GTA 5, just combined all of them, and then put the desert on top. So that's why people think that GTA 6 is going to be Vice City, and it's just going to be Miami. And so they're going to have, like, the city of Vice City, and then the Everglades is going to be like, like in Florida, they've got all like the swamps and shit. But so it's weird because they never seem to reference the older games, which is kind of like they brought them out. Like you could play them on, like I had it on my iPad originally. Like,
I remember the iOS versions.
Like I played Vice City when I was like 8 on my PlayStation because
you can get them on. You can get versions of them on PS4 still. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Like, I think I have, like... I mean, not necessarily 3 or San Andreas. Like, I played both of them because I got them for Christmas once. But Vice City, I have, like, massive nostalgia for that because I used to play it loads when I was, like... Fucking understood what was going on. I just knew that you can run people over in cars, Never did the missions or anything. The songs on the radio, I was like, whoa! Which is the one, it's like, you take my self-control. That one, whenever I hear it, I'm like, whoa! Like being 8 years old and playing for GTA Vice City, running around with a chainsaw, it was sick. I'm probably gonna get it, like eventually. I'll play him because, like, it's good. Vice City's good. I mean, the others are good. San Andreas, that's the one.
Sorry, go on.
Like, I was gonna say the meme from San Andreas is the shit. Here we go again.
Is that where you're spawning on the BMX? So
that's the very beginning, like one of the first missions or something. You're doing BMX stuff or something, and all your mates run off, steal some bikes, and he goes back. He's like, "Oh shit, here we go again," and you got to do bike stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I know the meme.
And then there's the other one. There's that one from like years ago where he's like, 2 number 9s, a number 9 large. That was from San Andreas as well.
A number 6 with extra dip.
Number 45 and a large soda. Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
so good. I mean, like, what I'm excited about is because
that's another one.
Rockstar love cinematic stuff too much now, and they've always wanted to make little movies and stuff, but now the games, in my opinion, like they're tough to control sometimes because they want to make it super real. These were made when the fun gameplay came first.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what people's reactions are to, like, returning to that. And finally, not because it's necessarily the most exciting, but just because it relates to the main topic, they're gonna do an Agatha Harkness show. Bum, 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 bum.
Terrible idea. I am the biggest Marvel fan, and I will watch every single piece of content, no matter how bad it is. Black Widow. But I just think it's a terrible idea. when are they going to set it? Is it still going to be in what's the Hex? I forgot the name of the town. Yeah. Is it going to be before Wanda and Vision show up? Is it going to be about like her refinding herself after Wanda wiped her head? It's just, I think there's so many better characters that could benefit off a show that haven't had the chance than Agatha Harkness. For example, obviously there's characters that are going to be in other shows, but like, I'd love a show about, what's she called? The S.H.I.E.L.D. workers. There's obviously Nick Fury, Coulson, and then there's the woman. What's Maria she called? Hill. Yeah, Maria Hill. Like, like stuff that could be grounded in like almost similar to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Maria Hill is a legit like crazy antagonist in the comics. She's a really interesting character. Really interesting.
Yeah. And she's just the woman from How I Met Your Mother in this.
Yeah, I think it's Sam Jackson's mate.
It's the equivalent of something popular. Oh, this character had a funny bit in it. Let's give her a show. It would be like watching The Mandalorian and being like, oh, everyone loved the guy who goes, I want to see the baby. Let's give him his own show because he said a funny thing.
I mean, the thing is though, that is how Disney operate, because you remember if it turned out Gina Carano wasn't crazy, she would have got a show.
True. Yeah, she was going to
get a show.
It was like isn't there where they set it up, where they were just like, that dude was like, hey, come work for us, and he just gives her like a metal plate with like the Republic logo on it, and we're like, and then that's it. They just don't mention it. But when that was out, we didn't know she was getting her own show at that point, so we were like, what the fuck is this? What's happening? And they just don't mention it again, and then they were like, oh yeah, we're making a show for her. I'm like, oh, okay. But then they didn't, so now it's just going to be nothing. People who watch it for the first, like our kids are going to watch Mandalorian, and they're going to be like, whoa, that's going to be something. We're just like, no, it's not. That's it. You're never going to find out what that's about.
I pose a hypothetical question to you here about not just Star Wars, but the way Disney are putting out media in general. Do you think our kids, our theoretical, hypothetical kids, would even be interested in watching The Mandalorian based on how much Star Wars content they're going to have when they're born?
Yeah, I'd be like, right, I'd make them watch The Mandalorian, I think. It's one of those things in it where like they'll watch the stories, I'll be like, right, you have to watch the prequels, because the prequels are good, you have to watch them, and then I'll make them watch Rogue One, and then they'll watch the originals, and then The Mandalorian. Obviously, by this point, we'll have other stuff that'll fill the gaps as well. I mean, they can watch the Clone Wars if they want, Yeah. Maybe watch
only season 7.
Yeah. They can watch the other stuff, they can watch Bad Batch. I mean, I haven't watched Bad Batch, but they can watch it if you want.
You're not missing out on much.
I've been so bad. They can watch Solo if they want. I don't know. But like, there's ones that I'm gonna say, right, we're watching them, and then I feel like The Mandalorian is one of them.
Definitely, it is probably one up there with the best Star Wars content ever.
The thing with it is, though, they're not going to be nearly as excited as all we were when Luke showed up. And we were, oh shit, it's Luke. They're gonna be like, oh, it's that guy from that thing we just watched. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be the big thing. Because, I mean, maybe. I mean, I'll get when they're young. You know what kids are like? Kids get excited by everything.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure they watch it young enough so that when they sit there like, oh, shit, it's Luke, So, and then by then they can watch season 3 as well.
By our kids, it'll probably be season 12.
Yeah.
Be like Lost.
Yeah. Well, at the end, the entire thing just he's been dead the whole time. Yeah. That's why Baby Yoda's not in like any of the other stuff. Yeah. He's in like a lucid dream or some shit.
He wakes up in ice from that planet in the first episode.
Yeah,
it's that like funny character that like the guy he's meant to go in at like capture. He's like, hey man, you've been asleep for a while.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine what a way to end the show, and it just goes off. Amazing. I'd love it.
I mean, it means it does kind of wrap up, like, it really weirdly explains, like, why certain things are happening. Like, why is Boba Fett just a competent fighter now?
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, he's on all the time to just chill on the desert. You know what I mean?
Because the fandom decided he was good in the interim 30 years. He just is good, and we've got to pretend he always has been.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He's got a thing. He's been training in the desert. There we go. He's been making desert snowmen, but like, I guess sandmen or something. Oh, there's actual sand people. There we go. He's been beating the shit out of sand people for 5 years.
Do you reckon that old lady from the sequels found him and was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Boba. Boba who? Boba Skywalker. No.
God, imagine if that's how Book of Boba Fett ends. That'll be amazing. Just all Star Wars media going forward just ends with, "Who are you, that woman?" She just pops up everywhere. She's like the Watcher, but Star Wars is
It's the exact same shot of her from The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's
completely
what it is.
different locations on the shot reverse shot there.
Yeah.
Man, what a way. They just commit to it. You know what I mean? Disney just commit to it. It'd be amazing. What a way.
Oh my god. Well, my point was going to be with the Agatha Harkness show is they're doing essentially what Marvel do with the comics. Anything that gets a little bit popular, that's it. You got to show. It doesn't really matter what we're doing creatively. It doesn't matter, which sucks. I don't agree with it. It's just like it's more content. Disney Plus. People will unsubscribe. There's not more content. Gotta go. Which brings us to What If, which is what they're doing right now. There's got to be more and more Marvel content. It used to be that we got 2 movies in a year, and we were really lucky. Now we get 9 projects in a year.
Yeah, boy.
And this show is the result. Now, first things first, like we're saying, what if review? I didn't make it past the 3rd episode because I thought this show was garbage, right? I know what happens in later episodes. I have things to say. You guys have seen more than me.
I've seen all of it apart from I haven't seen the last episode. I probably will watch it because it's a 2-parter, and I just haven't. This one, with all the others, like we've been watching them on the Wednesday when they've come out. Whereas with this one, it's not been like, I don't know. There's some interesting concepts or whatever, but
I mean, I was gonna, and then I watched the first episode, and I was very quickly learned this is just not. It doesn't really matter.
What was the first? Oh yeah. Peggy Carter one, that was fine, that one, you know what I mean? Like, that one could have had so much potential, though. Like, the thing that really annoyed me was that the whole weird Nazi alien thing they did at the end of the episode. Like, they could have done such an interesting thing where they made Steve the Winter Soldier. And he just didn't. He was just like, no, he's been saved by the Nazis or whatever the shit. Like, it's so boring.
To reason, as well, that because of the way that went down, in the first Avenger, the actual movie, The First Avenger, the Red Skull's plan was to ask a tentacle god if he would help Hitler.
Yeah.
That's
Wait, what?
Ridiculous.
That's why he goes and finds the mural at the beginning of the film in that church.
Wait, that was his actual plan in the film?
Yeah.
Wait, did we know that?
Because he wanted to use the Tesseract to open the portal.
Yeah.
To a different dimension, and I'm pretty sure, do you know, like the is it a mural? What's it called? The old drawing.
Yeah. Where he pulls the jar out.
Yeah. That's like okay.
Wait, so
like soldiers and then a monster.
Is that what he says in the original? Did he say?
I don't think he says the word. I want to get the monster to help Hitler.
Wait, yeah. So that was like his plan. Wait, was it? Did they reveal that in the new one? Like, it be in?
It was a bigger part in the episode of What If because it actually happened.
So but like, did we know that? Like, if you watch the first Avenger, he's like, "This is my plan." I mean, he doesn't. I know he doesn't say this.
If the only thing that changed in that episode is Peggy gets in the thing instead of Steve, then his plan always had to be that. Because that doesn't affect the Red Skull's plan.
That's a good point.
It's weird.
Fair enough.
I mean, like, we're not going to do non-spoilers, then spoilers. It's fine. We'll just talk about the whole show, or as much as we can get through. I reckon we'll start positively first, because I don't imagine it's going to stay positive. It looks good.
Yeah,
the production value is very high.
It's weird, like, the animation at times is weird looking, but then overall, in general, it's pretty good. I quite like
facial animations feel stilted,
yeah.
but action looks good.
Yeah, I found they struggled with any characters who weren't very easily detectable celebrities.
Yeah.
For example, the Benedict Cumberbatch. He is an incredibly...
He looks like,
so precise and unique face that anyone could look at that and go, That's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Same with Robert Downey Jr. Same with Nick Fury.
Yeah.
But then with referencing the Party Thor episode, which you wouldn't have seen, Sam, the faces of Natalie Portman and the side. What's Natalie? The funny character.
Kat Dennings. I don't know what her name.
They're just women. Like it's just like
it's a generic.
It's like on a video game where you just get woman template. It's just they struggled a lot with characters that weren't easily recognizable. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I thought the thing you on didn't really look like the Black Widow.
Yeah, I don't think she looked like Scarlett Johansson.
The woman who voiced her, it was weird. She was good at times. Like the way she pronounced certain words sounded like her. But then there'd be other times where it wasn't quite. I mean, it's someone else. You know what I mean? You don't expect it to be like thingy at the same time. But like, she was good enough that there were times it was like, oh, she probably sounds like Scarlett Johansson. Like which is really weird. But then I suppose she's never going to come back, is she? You know what I mean?
No.
She's a bad blood, you know.
Well,
like
apparently she's working on another project with Disney still. I can't remember what it is, but she makes money. She makes money. They're not going to break her up as long as she makes money.
Because they're making a film at the same time. She's just like, all right, just talking to the guy just about the film she's working. And then she's like, right, okay. Oh, by the way, that thing I'm suing you for, like, how's that going? It's like, we'll start it out. It's good stuff. So we're going to try and like get, we're going to try and not give you as much as we can. But it's like, cool. I'll get as much money out of you as I can. Don't worry about it. Good stuff. That's so weird.
It is weird.
But I mean, I don't know. It's a whole thing, isn't it?
There was. I don't know how I feel about it now because, like, you make a good point about the animation models. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt in the third episode when they did some of those callbacks to the Incredible Hulk, which were cool to see because that movie gets overlooked a lot. I at the time gave them the credit for it. Looked like the Bruce Banner model was an attempt to be somewhere between Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo. And I don't know if I was giving them too much credit there, but that's what I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just Mark Ruffalo doing the voice.
It was not.
Did they do? It was all new, wasn't it? It wasn't. They didn't recreate any. I mean, I know they did with the scene in the thing. The scene in that corridor thing. They recreated that, but with Mark Ruffalo instead. But like, there wasn't any lines of dialogue or anything that they just did instead, was there? Like, where they got him to say it. Like, because there was some of the episodes, wasn't there, where it was like recreations of clips and stuff. But with Matt Ruff, like
I found a lot of like the references to our MCU universe were just dubbed over by the Watcher, going like, "In your universe, the Avengers saved the day, but in this one, they died."
Yeah.
So I feel that a lot of it was new material.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest part of it as well. The Watcher. You've seen more of it than me. He was just a narrator to me, which is fine enough. The prospect of the Watcher showing up in more MCU things, is that good or is that bad from your perspective?
I mean, for me, the character itself, I'm kind of right, if he wants. The only reason I'd want him to is because is it Jeffrey Wright who voices him? He's a really good actor, so I would definitely. He's him being the guy who voices him, and I assume in live action would do the voice. Because I imagine he would be CGI, but he would do like the mocap and stuff for it.
Well, they've already got like the model for the Watchers, don't they?
Oh, because he was in Guardians too, yeah. Well, yeah, like the fact that he's the Watcher is the only reason I'd want him to be in it. Because he's a really good. He's playing fucking Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman. You know what I mean? Like he's a good actor. So like him. Like, the fact that he's the Watcher is the only reason I'd actually want the Watcher to be in it again. Because I want him to be in it. Like, I kind of wish that he'd given him a more prominent... I mean, I suppose if they want to going forward, the Watcher might be a big character, I don't know. But, like, I wouldn't mind him being, like, someone big, you know what I mean? Because he's a good...
I feel that the final... Are we spoilers in, or are we just talking...
Just spoiler the whole thing.
The final 2 episodes definitely make the Watcher more of a character than this godly being that oversees the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because he fights Ultron. He recruits people and like talks to them in a pub about the mission they're about to go on. it kind of loses that. I feel that in the final 2 episodes, as good as they are, and I do think they are 2 of the best episodes in the series, they kind of take away almost the mystical element of the Watcher being this godly figure who looks from the stars at everything going on, and kind of make him more of like, oh, he's so cool, look at him fight people, which I feel that is, as I said, as good as the episodes are, I feel that it's a wasted character because of that.
It's really weird, isn't it? Because I don't really get how it all works. Like, in Loki, it kind of suggests that like Kang, but he's not Kang. He's not Kang in this one, is he? He's what is he?
Who remains?
He who, him, that one. I mean, he is Kang, but the other versions of it are Kang. Is he? Because he kind of suggests that he's the one that controls all of it. He's like God or whatever. But then in What If? I mean, I suppose he who remains. I suppose he's the one who controls it. Well, he doesn't anymore, but he did, I guess. He's the one who controlled us. I suppose the Watcher's kind of someone else. But then there was 3 of them in Guardians. Yeah. I know, obviously, that was just when they did the one in Guardians 2. That was just a reference. They were like, "Oh, people are going
in there, wasn't it?"
Yeah, that was just a thing. They weren't actually.
I think they were kind of playing off that fan theory as well. That Stan Lee was playing a Watcher.
Yeah. Like, I know at that point they probably didn't have What If in mind. They were like, they probably. But then it's weird that there's 3 of them. Yeah. They got to, like, that's something they still, like, even if it's like, oh, well, at the time they weren't thinking about, that's still something you got to take into account, surely. It's a multiverse. Looking, there's 3 Watchers. Yeah. Like, how many, I don't even know how many are there in the comics. Is it just
in the comics, as far as I remember, there's a Watcher for each universe.
Oh.
Like, Uatu just watches 616. That's it.
Oh. Well, that'd be kind of cool. It's if they think, like, if they, I mean, now that they're opening the multiverse kind of thing within the Marvel, then that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. He's a cool character. I know what you mean about it being thingy, like it being he was the mystic. He's watching. Yeah. I'm going to watch them all. Can't interfere. But it's
like Pokemon.
Watch them all. And he's just in the background. Every time you see him, you're like that. You're like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like,
yeah,
there he is.
Like, yeah, he definitely loses that. I would recommend the last 2 episodes to watch if you were going to watch any of it, because they are the most, like, throughout the series. I don't know if you found it, but a lot of the episodes ended on really cool stuff that was going to happen. Like, the Zombies episode ended with zombie Thanos coming out with every stone except Vision, and it's like, oh, okay, and then it's just credits.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other, I can't think of any other examples, but a lot of the episodes genuinely ended on a big moment, and you're like,
and then,
oh, is this going to go on? And it just stops.
It goes off, and it's got the concept art, And
then whereas the final 2 episodes actually link, like a part 1 and a part 2, which makes it so much more rewarding as a viewer to know that when you finish that second to last episode, the next one will explain the rest.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel that it missed a lot. And obviously it had a missing episode as well with the Sicarian Iron Man, which was...
Was that meant to be a separate episode?
Yeah, that was meant... Basically, they cancelled it because of COVID restrictions and people, which I don't understand, because you can do voice lines at home and send them in.
Wait, so what does it end up being? I remember seeing the clip.
Nothing, it's just, it should have been 10 episodes and it was 9.
Apparently that one's going to be in season 2.
Oh, I was going to say, because there's a Lego set of it, and we were like...
Well, that's why... Oh, you haven't seen it yet. The last episode, the Watcher goes around recruiting people, and it's Sicarian Iron Man with Gamora, who's just killed Thanos, and the Watcher recruits Gamora, and he's like, "Not you, Tony, you're a bad boy." So, but it's like, it's really annoying because it looks so cool. Like,
so it should have been one of them.
Yeah, it should have.
I didn't know that, actually. Matt? I mean, what was I saying? Well, the thing we were saying about the only thing with the last 2. I mean, I obviously haven't seen the last one. I will watch the last one because I will admit the second to last episode, the part 1 of that thing is really cool. Remember ages ago we were saying about how James Spade has wasted Ultron in Age of Ultron. He's so good as Ultron, but he's wasted in that film. It's so annoying because these 2 last episodes, the character of Ultron's so good. It's like actually what it should have been. But it's not even fucking James Spader. He just, I know what I mean. I know there's probably conflicts and stuff, and I think there was a reason he wasn't in it. But it's actually good, and it's not even him. It's just some dude. I mean, again, it's some dude. It's some dude. It's his job. He's an actor, so he does a good impression. I'm not going to think of the guy just because he's not James Spader, but like,
I think similar to the Bruce Banner thing, though, they tried to get someone who was James Spader and Paul Bettany, because it technically is Vision.
Yeah,
it's Vision's body.
Oh yeah, I think. But Paul Bettany was Jarvis though before, so it would have just been
true.
So it would have just been. I think. I kind of hope. What happens to him at the end?
You'll have to find out.
No. Is there any chance that he could come back from it?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
I just want James Spader as Ultron. I want more Ultron just because it's James Spader. He's such a good, like, menacing. He's like a menacing, but, like, not menacing in, like, I don't know. It's just, he's so good, and then he's wasted in the film.
I do kind of get the impression that using Ultron as the big last villain is almost like a way to test waters of how would people feel about a Ultron kind of return. I think like one of the things you were saying earlier about how does the whole multiverse thing work and all these questions and stuff, it relates to like my big problem with the show. Well, they're sort of connected, right? The problem with this show consistently is the writing. That's what turned me off. It was pretty terrible. The first thing I wanted to say was that, one, I would love to know what the oversight is like at Marvel Studios, because supposedly Kevin Feige is very involved in like edits and things like this. I don't believe for a second that the writer's room of What If and the writer's room of Loki have ever met.
No.
Or spoke to each other once. I don't think they were remotely told what the rules are. I think it was just like, here's go, you do your concept, which should be fine enough, right? But like you guys were saying, you get to the end of the thing, and it sets up an actual story, instead of just like a twist on like events, an actual new interesting thing, and then just stops, which is the exact problem the What If comics have. Because they'll do like an event comics usually like 6, 7, or 8 issues, and then they'll do all those 8 issues worth of story condensed into one issue, and they'll do like a cliffhanger thing at the end. And with it's kind of shitty, it's lazy writing, but with comics it's kind of like, oh well, I just bought this one issue and at least it's fine, it's over now. With TV, right? I know, I'm guessing you guys are already slightly sick of me bringing it up because it's my current hyperfixation. Right now I'm watching Star Trek. It's fucking awesome, right? You know what I love right now about watching Star Trek The Next Generation? Every episode is just almost, every single one is a singular contained story. It starts and ends by the end. You've had a full experience. It doesn't matter how much Star Trek you've watched before. Sometimes there's 2-parters, occasionally there's 2-parters, but almost every time you're going to have a beginning and an end by the end of the episode. And it's so amazing. And I am kind of sick and bored of Marvel's attitude of like, it's always about what's around the corner next. And at the very least, with the movies, whether you like the stories or hate the stories, there's a story.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie. I can't say this with What If. And I ducked on one of the better episodes. Like episode 3 I thought was alright. It's just I didn't have the energy to watch the rest of it. I tried, I couldn't be bothered.
It's like, I suppose it's like, if I was a betting man, I would put every single pound I've got in my bank account on this Hawkeye series coming up. The last minute of the last episode will be a cliffhanger for Hawkeye season 2.
Yeah.
I could put my everything I own like on it.
Florence Pugh's
will show happen. Up or
something, yeah.
And as much, I completely agree with what you're saying. It's like the whole Doctor Who Monster of the Week thing, that whole whatever, of, this is his character, bad guy, like Power Rangers, just like Power Rangers. Yeah. The formula of, whoa, we're doing cool American teen stuff. Oh no, a bad guy. Fight them. They get big. We get big. We beat them. End of story. It does miss that, and I feel that it is very emphasized in the What Ifs every single episode, that it's like, here's a cool thing, end. Here's a cool thing, end. like it was generally disappointing. Like when I was watching some episodes with my flatmate, at the end of it, we'd like shout like piss off and stuff because it's like it's annoying. It's getting very annoying.
Yeah, the only one I'd say that doesn't end that way is the Doctor Strange one.
Yeah, that has kind of.
But then that one, the whole thing with that one, instead of it ending, like it's not an enclosed, it just ends because it's like it goes for sometimes the real world's like when films end with someone dying, and then it goes off, and it's like sometimes the world sucks. It goes for that kind of ending.
Yeah.
Like he does all this stuff, and he spent the whole thing. The Watcher keeps going. If he carries on doing this, the universe is going to implode, and then the universe implodes, and then it ends. And it's like, well, we told him it was going to happen, and now he's just trapped in a ball, and then it goes off. I mean, we know obviously then that he comes and gets recruited later on, and that you said before. I didn't know that he's going to be the bad guy. Something.
He's bad. Like evil Doctor Strange has been. I don't know if you know this, Sam. He's been confirmed to show up in live action.
Where?
People are assuming Multiverse of Madness in some form. But then I don't know whether it'll be the one from What If. I'm assuming so.
It must be. They wouldn't just create another one, would they? When they've already got one.
But this isn't. I am not Marvel's 100% leak source. I mean, I could. But I have seen a lot. I've actually seen a lot of people talk about it in YouTube as I watch, say that it has been confirmed that evil Doctor Strange out of everyone in What If will return.
It would make sense.
I really hope it's not. I'm not against the idea of an evil Doctor Strange fucking about. I really hope it's not in Multiverse of Madness because I'm so bored to death of the Marvel villain is the Marvel hero recolored.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind because there's some people in What If that I wouldn't mind seeing live action. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Haley Atwell. I wouldn't mind seeing her as Captain Carter. Like I wouldn't mind that.
Pretty cool.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing who are the others. Michael B. Jordan come back, but as Black Panther instead. That's wouldn't mind seeing that.
T'Challa Star-Lord would have been amazing.
That would have been cool, yeah. In real live action, obviously.
Gutting.
Won't be able to get that, but that would have been cool. I mean, I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered about Gamora and Thanos. Take it or leave it. Just Gamora in gold armor, great. But I wouldn't mind if some of these do pop up in Multiverse of Madness. Like then I don't really know what that film is going to be, though. You know what I mean? Like this show. The problem with this show, it's not a problem, but in like Loki, they make it seem like the multiverse branching off is a bad thing. Like this is going to cause all kinds of shit to go on. Whereas What If, they make it almost seem like, oh, look at all these crazy fun worlds that have been created. Isn't this a fun time? This isn't a bad thing. We've now got the Guardians of the Multiverse. So I always assumed that the way they were going to do it was going to be, we were going to have, Loki sets it up. Spider-Man, you're going to see the
implications.
Yeah, what's going to, all these stuff's going on. But from the trailer, it kind of doesn't look like that's what's going to happen.
I feel that Spider-Man will try to very loosely have an exposition scene going, I don't know how I ended up here. I went through a portal and now your universe is in my universe and mine is in yours. And I feel that they'll try and explain it, which is, they don't have to explain it, but they will explain it because obviously the common cinema fan who isn't like a Marvel fan obviously won't know what's going on. Like, I messaged my mum saying she likes to think she's a Marvel fan. I messaged her saying, "Oh, have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer?" She was like, "Yeah, it looks good." I was like, "Do you get it?" And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Do you get it though? Do you get the end bit?" And she was like, "No, why?" And it's just for viewers like that, they'll have to explain it, which is in a way good and bad, but it's just the way they go about it. Like, will they childlike do what? What's it called? Far From Home bad guy Mysterio did, where he's like, I'm from a different universe, and Peter Parker's like, what? Are they just going to do that again?
I mean, this time it's actually true.
Yeah,
he's like, I think the thing is they're going to have to stay. It's it's a weird one. I think they're going to have to be like, hey, I mean, they're not going to be like, hey, I'm Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi films. Hello, I'm Andrew Garfield.
Who's your director? Who's yours?
And then it's going to, but like, because I didn't realize Sam Raimi's directing
Multiverse of Madness.
Imagine if Tobey Maguire's in that one as well. There's just all of it just carries on. Like Tobey Maguire just becomes a permanent installment in the MCU.
It's Tobey Maguire as Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
In the car. It's like Wanda just drops a character just like drops in front of a car. Get out of the fucking way! There are cars there.
Oh, there.
I can't see. It's just normal Tobey Maguire.
That'd be amazing. And then it'd be Tobey Maguire meets Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. They're just both in the car. It'd be like that scene in Spider-Man 2 where they're like in the thingy, they're in the lift together. It's Tobey Maguire and Tobey Maguire. It's like, oh man, that'd be sick. But no, my whole thing was like, yeah, like I think they're gonna have a scene. They're gonna have a scene where they explain it. You know what I mean? And I reckon if that leak with Andrew Garfield, is crouching down, he's on some kind of scaffolding or some shit. I think it's gonna be that scene. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, hey, we're all Peter Parker, and we're all from different universes. You're in your 40s, and I'm in my late 20s, but you're like 16. So what the fuck?
I'm gonna make a call here about the explanation in Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's going to be contradictory to both Loki and What If.
I will agree with you there.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Have you ever seen the breakdowns of the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people think that bit. Well, the reason it gets all messed up isn't even. We all thought that it was going to be what happens in Loki, and then Spider-Man's just going to be experiencing the result of it.
But it's the spell.
It looks like what he's doing. He's searching for the things, isn't he? And then him walking into the spell messes them all up, and they all like clump together. So I reckon that in a way that kind of makes it seem like the way it works is things don't overlap. There's just multiverses and stuff. How we always just assumed it was anyway. It's all these different universes, and then they stated in Loki that no, it's the straight line. Now there's all the different ones. So does that mean that
it's getting very confusing? Because are we meant to believe the Watcher watches over the multiverses? He who remains watches over the timelines in these multiverses.
Yeah.
Then am I meant to believe Doctor Strange affects these timelines in these multiverses, watched by the Watcher? I feel that it's going to get very confusing unless they bring out something to explain it.
See, you know what we need? See, right, in the 80s, DC were having this problem where there was too many different characters. There was like 5 different Supermans or some shit. And they were like, right, this is getting ridiculous. And that's where, I don't know if you have heard, I mean, Sam, you probably have, I don't know if you've heard of, there's a comic in the 80s, DC one, called Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I've heard of
it. The CW did a very kind of dumbed down, let's get all the different...
Like the Flash and Arrow. And
they mixed them all up, and they brought back the guy from Superman Returns to be Superman again. But in the 80s, they did that comic line where they were like, right, this is getting ridiculous, there's too many. They did that event, and then it reset everything. It went back to just being, right, read this one for Superman, read this one for Batman. It's a thingy. Yeah. I feel like if Marvel continue to do all these different multiverse stuff, they fall in the trap of doing that, and then they're going to end up doing,
that's the appeal.
As long as they make it make sense, I think.
Yeah.
And then they'll just do the reverse of Loki, where it starts. I mean, it doesn't have to be Loki, but the show, the story of whatever it ends up being, maybe it's Avengers, I don't know. It ends up being the reverse of what happens with Loki, where it's all mess, and then they make it one again. Yeah. Maybe that's the Kang one or some shit, I don't know, where they fight actual Kang the Conqueror or some
Quantumania. Here's the thing, right? I'm going to try and... I have like 2 separate thoughts here. I'm going to try and combine them. Question number 1, right, is do you think Marvel Studios, do you think they actually expect you to watch all these shows and movies anymore? Yeah. I think they want you to. They definitely want you to, because that's money, that's subscriptions. But Marvel Comics, they really don't expect you to read every single thing. Yeah. And I'm starting to get the same thing here from these Like, I think we're going to get contradictory multiverse things from What If, Loki, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, probably going to go into it, and Doctor Strange. And I don't think it's ever going to get wrapped up because I don't think they actually really give a shit if you watch all of them.
Like, I think the main stuff that matters, like, it's like how you don't need to watch Doctor Strange to know you don't need to know what's going on in Doctor Strange to watch, like, Infinity War, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It basically tells you everything you need to know in Infinity War about Doctor Strange. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
You know, Zach says it himself. He's a fucking wizard. He can open portals. That's all you need to know. And he's a magic man. I feel like that's what it's going to be like with this. Like, they're going to, all these shows, the only one, I feel like it's going to be weird where they're going to be like, they're going to rely, the big stuff that changes it is going to be the stuff that they know people are going to want to watch. Like Loki. Everyone wanted to watch Loki because everyone loves Tom Hiddleston, you know what I mean? So they made the whole, but even then, saying that, it looks like you don't need to watch Loki to watch the new Spider-Man.
Right.
Because then it's all other thing again. Loki just explains it, I guess. And then, even What If? What If doesn't be like, the only reason this show exists is because of what happened in Loki. You know what I mean?
They're trying to tie them together after the fact. Like on social media, they were promoting it with the TVA screens. And the question would like sort of occur on that. But in the show, it's not.
It doesn't do that, yeah. It's kind of thing, isn't it? Like, you know what they need to do? Right? Back when Stan Lee was doing the comics, he used to, when there was a reference to something from another comic, he used to just do a little balloon at the bottom, and he was like, to get this reference, read issue da-da-da-da-da, and then it would just be like, Stan, with a little, like...
You should get a pop-up on your Disney Plus.
Yeah, just imagine, like, Loki's, like, in, like, I don't know, fucking One Division, whatever, like, Multiverse of Madness, is, like, who the hell's Kang the Conqueror? And a little Stan Lee, I mean, obviously, it'd be like CGI Stan Lee pops up, he's like, hey, true believers, watch da-da-da-da-da. So, no, don't they do that in something, though? Isn't that a thing?
He's like Mr. DNA, but the Marvel version of Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's the fucking the paperclip from Word or some shit. Don't they do something, though, where they pause the screen or something, and he pops up saying, like, go watch this to know what he's talking about? No, I don't know. I think I watched something ages ago where they actually do that, and he pops up and says, go watch this to know what's going on or some shit. I can't remember.
It sounds familiar, but I can't recall.
Pauses or something. No, I can't remember, but yeah. Imagine if they did shit like that. That'd be amazing.
So, onto the point I was getting to, right? The writing really frustrated me in the show. I thought it was lazy. I thought it played off of like all the references way too much. Like nothing was an individual story. It was all references. My anger peaked at episode 2. I really wanted to like episode 2. I really loved Chadwick Boseman. I was really happy that he was playing the character again. I fucking couldn't stand that episode, right? Why was Yondu just like a good dad? Like Yondu just is his character from the very end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Thanos, the Mad Titan, just needed a little chat about why his plan was bad, and he gave up the whole thing and became a good guy. Nebula, because she's no longer abused, likes dressing up with wigs and dresses now, I guess. It was just like these characters are established in other things and people love them, and so now we can write them as whatever. We don't have to fucking do, people will accept it, right? But here's my problem with that. Because it's so steeped in references, theoretically you're only targeting like people who really love this thing, the MCU. But then you get people like me who have consumed it all and thought about it all, and it's bouncing off for that exact reason, because it doesn't fucking gel. So my question is, who is this show for? Because I've watched every single MCU fucking entry. I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe I'm a fake fan, right? I've watched every movie in the cinema, usually on night one. I don't know if the camera will reach. No, whatever. I'm sat next to a tower which has about 600 single-issue Marvel comics in it. I hate this show. Who is it for? It's not for me. I can accept that, but who's it for?
Money. It's for money. It's literally, unfortunately, as bad as it is, whack a Marvel logo on anything ever these days, and it will make money.
Yeah.
A perfect example, in my opinion, Shang-Chi is a good Marvel film. It is, I'd say, a decent Marvel film.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've seen this somewhere or I'm just making it up, but I would assume that Marvel would have thought, Shang-Chi, nobody knows the character. Obviously, first Asian-led lead in a Marvel film with a whole Asian cast. No one knows the story. No one knows who he is. It's done incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are insane. I think it's probably going to be overtaken by No Time to Die, but it's currently highest grossing film of the year. But it's just like, I think Marvel, as bad as it is, anything that has Marvel on it will do well. No matter if it's a cartoon on Disney Plus, no matter if it's a film about a character no one knows or really cares about.
Yeah.
It's just that, like people will watch it at the end of the day because it's Marvel. That's the only reason.
Like, I couldn't care less about the Eternals, but I'm still going to watch it in the cinema.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing is, we were saying, like, oh, yeah, slap a Marvel film and people are going to watch it. As if it's a bad thing. We all are the people that are going to watch it. We are the people that do that. Like, and I mean, it is bad, I get it. It is bad. They're literally, they're just like, oh, we could do this. It's got Marvel, people are going to watch it. Like, it's bad that they assume that, but at the same time, like, it feels, knowing all of it, you know what I mean, being involved and kind of watching all of them and knowing what's going on. It's still thingy, isn't it? It's just part of being, it's part about being. It's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe.
I'd say a perfect example of myself is I'm only going to see Venom 2 to see the post-credit scene, which is related to Marvel. That is literally the only reason I'm going to see that film.
Yeah.
And that just shows how much, like, other people will do the same.
They're going to do the same thing with Morbius as well. You count my fucking words.
Why? I don't want Jared Leto to be in it.
In the first trailer, they had... In the first trailer for Morbius? Mobius is Owen Wilson. They have, like, Traitor, don't they, spray painted over a picture of Spider-Man on a wall. It's a screenshot from Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? And then people were saying it's like, this was before, obviously, like, Multiverse of Madness was announced, and people were like, but how is it Spider-Man PS4? How is it Tom Holland? Like, anything, I feel that Sony now, if they are deciding, oh, Marvel will make the money, which obviously it does, all their properties are now going to be shifted over, which will not only give Sony more money to go, oh, Venom 3 is going to be epic, but it'll also get people going, oh, do you know Venom's to do with Marvel now? Do you know Venom's got Spider-Man? It's just an endless cycle of capitalism and money and Disney basically going, you like this? Here's more. Give us your money. You like this? How about this and this? You like pizza? You like cake? Have you ever tried pizza cake? You're going to eat it anyway because we made it. It's like, you could literally put anything together and it makes money.
I mean, the thing with Venom as well, I don't know if you remember, at the end of Venom, the after credit scene of the first Venom is a clip from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, like that. So that's it. So it's weird. I mean, saying that though, you know what? Actually, I wouldn't mind if some of the Into the Spider-Verse people came into it.
Oh, I would love that.
I wouldn't mind it if Jake Johnson plays live action Peter B. Parker. He could play like he's a perfect age. He looks like him, and he has. He's like in shape. You know what I mean? He's in shape enough to be like a 40-year-old Spider. And like saying that though, then doesn't Thingy voice Spider-Man 2099? Isn't it Oscar Isaac?
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
And I mean, he's playing Moon Knight, so that's an issue.
Who gives a shit? Variants, innit? Everything's explained with variants. I'll say this, right? I don't give a shit what happens in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? I don't give a single fuck. If that Japanese Spider-Man shows up with his fucking Megazord, that is my movie of the year. Holy shit.
You can see the rope attached to his back as he's like...
Yeah.
They're all just proper CGI, but then he's just got the rope.
He's really on a building and he's really fucking terrified to move a bit.
Man. And they all just get to the top and the rope just vanishes. And then they're all just like, yo, what the fuck happened to that rope? And he just said something like in Japanese and alright, good stuff.
When we watched it, Joe, that clip of him on the side of the building and he looks like right into camera. He's fucking terrified.
Oh man. Like, can you imagine, right, if genuinely they do like a Spider-Man, like Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man 4 it's just Into the Spider-Verse, but it's every single non-comic Spider-Man Adam. Like it's
the one who does the backflip at the kids' party and
falls
into the floor.
Like literally, they do everyone. They do Spider-Man PS4. They do the bloody Spider-Man from the '90s show. They do all the Spider-Man that were in the '90s show version of Into the Spider-Verse. They do, which includes the one from our universe.
Yep.
So they do fucking. Oh, it'd be so good. And they do like, imagine that, just all of them lined up. It'd be fucking sick. And they do like a thingy. They do like a shot of all of them, and you just like looking through, like, oh shit, there's fucking Spider-Man from I don't know, fucking Disney XD, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Some terrible PS1 Spider-Man game, the original Spider-Man.
But it looks
terrible?
like him as
How dare you?
Well, he's terrible in it's a very iconic
like,
game.
They designed it to look like it's like low poly or something.
Yeah. Low poly Spider-Man.
It'd be amazing. Oh yeah, that'd be so sick. Oh man, imagine though if like they do actually, if Tom Maguire's actually in the new one.
He is.
They can't
have Andrew Garfield.
Isn't that thingy? Isn't there that shot of him in the park when he's just sat there and he's like, "Hey, it's Spider-Man." Doesn't he? Did he tell that person in the park that he is in it or something? That was the joke that Andrew Garfield's denying it, and Tom Maguire's just like, "Yeah, I'm in it, yeah," or something like that.
Well, what didn't? I'm sure it's the teacher from obviously current Spider-Man. It's the bald guy who's like, "Witches, it's witches." Didn't he in an interview say, like, the interviewer was like, "Oh, who are you most excited to see him back on the screen?" And he was like, "I think Toby." He's like, I like Toby. So, like, just full on says it. But, he's one of those people that doesn't care. So, like, whereas, like, you've got you Mark Ruffalo's who are like, "Oh, shouldn't have said that." Ooh. Like, when he literally said everyone dies for Infinity War and no one paid attention. But it's just like that. But I think there's so much... I've said to Joe, I don't know if I said to you, Sam, but, like, and it's a bit off topic, but like I've not been as excited for a Spider-Man film ever as I am for No Way Home. But that is only for the fact that it has Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I could not give a monkeys about Tom Holland. I think he's a great guy, a great actor, he's a good Spider-Man, but I don't care about his films.
No, I just want Tom Maguire.
Yeah, I just want to see them back.
There's an interesting thing about the thing is I really like the Tom Holland stuff, but there's a really interesting thing that I think is missing from his movies that other Spider-Mans have, like that quintessential Spider-Man stories have, and that is actually an element of tragedy. The old Parker look, you know what I mean? Like the formula is let's use an example. Spoilers for Spider-Man on the PS4, right? The end of the game involves a fucking weird virus that gets injected into people, and Aunt May's gonna die of it. And the big fight with Doc Ock blows up like almost every single version of the cure. There's one left. You can either take the time to analyze that and save tons of people, or you can save Aunt May now. And he knows he's got to let Aunt May die. To be the hero, to save the city, he's got to let Aunt May die. That's the Parker look. That's the Peter Parker tragedy. Frankly, that's Spider-Man. He's always got to lose something to be the hero. Tom Holland doesn't have that because he's best mates with Tony Stark, and he just always has things gifted to him.
In Homecoming, he steals a car to get to the villain.
Oh yeah,
he steals a car. He's Spider-Man, and he just straight up steals a car and drives to the villain's house and like villain's lair. It's just things like that where I'm like, they've obviously cottoned on to Iron Man, modern stuff, drones. Kids love them these days. We've done it at our work. Drones are everything these days. Yeah. And I feel that they've gone, this is popular, we need this. This is popular, we need this. Yeah. Where it is missing that, as you said, that tragedy. And I think they try to with the whole rubble pushing half and half, all that jazz. But yeah, it's missing
the thing. Death. The thing with the Tom Holland films that really pisses me off, and they did the same thing with Andrew Garfield. The thing with Andrew Garfield is it's not a bad thing because it actually fixes it, I guess. But the Sam Raimi films, he got his Spider-Man suit in Spider-Man 1, and he just had that suit until the end. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man, he's got a look, whereas all the different every time Tom Holland shows up in Spider-Man, he's got another different he's got his thingy on. The only one really I would say that doesn't is in Homecoming. He has the one that he gets in Civil War, I guess. Yeah. But then in Spider-Man in Far From Home, he's got a different one. In No Way Home, he's got another one again.
He's got two different ones. No Way Home,
exactly. And then with the Andrew Garfield one, it's the same. In both movies, he's got a different suit. Granted, okay, yes, they went back in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they went back to the Amazing Spider-Man look with the massive eyes. Whereas Sam Raimi, you know what? He just that's what Spider-Man looks like.
It's because he knew, this guy literally can't barely afford his rent, let alone improving his suit, and doesn't have anyone there to finance him, obviously.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the interview with Tobey Maguire talking about the organic, why they decided to give him organic web? Because they did actually consider giving him the web shooters, and Tom Maguire basically said in an interview that him and Sam Raimi discussed it, and they both agreed that this guy, that Peter Parker, it makes no sense for him to have the technology and the smarts to design a web shooter in his bedroom. And if he did, why is he a superhero when he could just be selling that technology and be like, and then that's why
the suit he designs is already pushing the logic too far. Arguably.
Yeah, exactly. That's the weird thing. There's that, and then the suit's got some fucking web mesh on it or some shit that takes about 2 hours to get on the actor, and then you know what I mean. But then and then you get the whole. They kind of try to explain it in Amazing Spider-Man, don't they, with those canister things?
Oh,
and then he just
Well, then Tom Holland just makes it at school.
Yeah. He's just like, hey, these web shooters are cool, and he's like, how'd you do them? He's like, no, made him in a bathroom. You know what I mean?
Literally.
It's just like, sometimes you don't need explanation, but I'm waiting for that conversation in No Way Home. That one that everyone thinks that the clip is from, the leak that's supposedly meant to actually be real.
Well, lip readers have tried to break it down, and I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure Andrew Garfield says something like, so there's no way back.
Is that what they say? I've seen one where
I'm
people
pretty sure
say
you could research it. Let me have a look. But I'm pretty sure professional lip readers have...
There's a bunch of ones. The one that everyone said when it came out was people think he's saying... What does he think he says? It's something like...
So do you have, web blood?
Yeah. So the whole thing, people think he's saying that to Tobey Maguire, who's on one side, and then does a little side eye to someone who they
Tom
think...
Holland.
Holland, yeah. Like them, a what the fuck, That's what people reckon it is. And even if that's not what he says in that clip, that's definitely a conversation that they're going to have at some point.
Yeah.
It is weird. They're like, what the fuck just comes out of you? You just make web. It's weird, a bit weird, isn't it?
I think the thing here, right, is... Do you know what? I think this in pop culture in general a lot is... I'm fully understanding that all of my favorite franchises were made, greenlit, shot, produced, and broadcast for cynical reasons. I'm well aware of that. It was about marketable ad slots. It was about merchandise. It's all about money. I'm very well aware that this is all product. But it feels like in the past, some of the reasons that we've been able to gravitate to it so much is that the people working on it are creative, are actually genuinely invested in trying to produce a quality piece of media. If it's going to be product, here's a good example. The first Lego movie was so aware that it was an advert that they dove 100% into it and turned it into an actually pretty good film.
Yeah.
It's a funny, well-made movie because they're aware of what it is. And nowadays...
It's the same with the Lego Batman movie too. Like the guys, they were like, this is just an advert for Lego Batman. Let's just throw as much shit into it as we can. Let's just make, it's like, oh, they've got a bunch of villains. Let's just see how crazy we can go.
Yeah. Let's literally make more product than Lego can produce.
Yeah.
Everything is in this movie. And I think the thing now is, like you say, because Marvel Studios, that logo sells, it feels like the people in charge of writing and whatever are taking a back seat, they're gonna chill. It's like it is just like, well, it's just a product, it's fine, it's just a job. Just get it out, just bash it out. Thanos has a fight with a guy, and then he gets lasered in half. All the Infinity Stones, they're just lasers now. They're just cool lasers for the laser fight. That'll sell. Marvel Studios, that'll sell. And maybe I'm the problem here. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm reminded, there's a quote from one of the old Disney, I think Bob Iger, maybe. He said, we have no obligation to make art, only to make money. And in some instances, in the pursuit of making money, we may occasionally make art. My problem is I want it to be art.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my fault. I should recognize this is just, it's another thing on the Marvel conveyor belt.
Yeah. Like, the only reason it's still around is because of how much money it makes. Like, the only reason the DC ones are still, even though the DC ones are fucking trash, you know what I mean? The only reason the Zack Snyder's Justice League is a thing is because it would make, it made money. That's the only reason.
HBO Max subscribers.
Yeah, like, the only reason they're still pursuing fucking Flash and all these other Aquaman 2 is because the others made money. And they know people still gonna watch.
Those actors are under contract. That's the other thing. Ezra Miller will have signed on to do X number of movies, so it's like, if we're going to make a Flash movie anyway, we've already fucking got this guy under contract.
Yeah, I feel that DC have also taken from the Marvel formula by having Michael Keaton come back, things like that. Like, obviously, doing the whole things I know. Oh, it's him. I know him from the old thing.
Well, it's the thing, isn't it? The story that they're doing for that, it's Flashpoint. Yeah. And in Flashpoint, the whole thing is someone goes in the past, one of the characters goes in the past, changes the history, so that it then means that, like, Bruce Wayne gets shot in the alley instead. So his dad becomes Batman and his mum becomes Joker. And then a bunch of other stuff changes the universe as well. But then what they've done is obviously we've not seen it, but from what the looks of it is the change in it, so something's going to happen so that it's Michael Keaton as Batman, but then also Ben Affleck's in it as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like Flashpoint, but with multiverse
I think
instead
it's just a multiverse movie, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably going to be the skeleton of Flashpoint, but it's going to have multiverse elements instead. Like, I wonder if they're going to use the cosmic treadmill. That's a really...
I want them to. My fucking everything. My everything for a DC movie to have a little bit of fun. It's so goofy. DC Comics is so goofy.
The Suicide Squad just doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah,
and
it's great. Good. It's so good.
Giant fucking starfish is the bad guy, but it's so good. That's what they need to do. This is DC, they're so afraid of people accusing him of being like, oh, you're just trying to do the Marvel thing. Just fucking do the Marvel thing. It works. The thing that is, Marvel have shown that that it works, but DC have better characters and better story. So if they just were like, fuck it, it's fine. We're just gonna do the Marvel thing. People are gonna tell us it's gonna do the Marvel thing. It won't matter, because if they get good people doing the films, they just use the stories that they have. They can have actual good, you know what I mean? Batman is better than any of the Marvel characters. Superman is better than any of the Marvel characters. Even, like, Justice League in general is better than others. The big crossover events are better. Like, Final Crisis, Blackest Night, all these other things. They're just so much better. But DC are just like, oh, people will accuse us of copying Marvel, and we don't want to do that. Like, fuck off, man. Just do it.
We should be sat here now talking about the second Nightwing movie. And instead, we're rebooting the whole thing.
Yeah, like, if they did, right, the thing, DC's version of What If, it's called Elseworlds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elseworlds is so good.
Yeah.
There's really good Elseworlds. Some of the best DC stories are Elseworlds stories. Like, The Dark Knight Rises is considered one of the best pieces of literature ever written. That's a Batman Elseworlds story.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, Superman Red Sun, where he lands in Russia instead. That's such a good story. Like, DC Frontiers, where they're all set in the forest. It's just...
Killing Joke is technically Elseworlds. Like, I think it was when it was written, and then they were like, this is popular, and put it in the main.
Yeah, like, oh, this is good. Let's just make her crippled. And now she's Oracle. But yeah, it just, I don't know, it annoys me that I'd be so much more committed if it was DC that had the cinematic universe. And they didn't just leave it in the hands of fucking Zack Snyder.
I'm still waiting for the Monsterverse.
Yeah.
I loved The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
You mean the Dark Universe? The Monsterverse is Godzilla. Yeah. That's over now. That's finished. We got to the crossover. We're done now.
What was it, 4 films? 3, 4?
Godzilla, Kong, Godzilla, King of Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong. They were thinking about making Pacific Rim part of it, but I think they decided against it.
Wait, is that it then? They're just done with that?
I think they're done.
Fair enough.
Fair.
I've heard Godzilla vs. Kong is actually quite good.
You know what?
If
you don't take it seriously, it's just monsters fighting each other. Like, they don't try to make it really serious. They're just like, dude, it's fucking monsters fighting each other. And then robot monster fights at the end, and they join together. It's like, fuck.
It's like
big monkey fights big lizard. That's what it is. It's actually all right. You're like, yeah, all right, that's pretty good.
You don't need to do what Superman did, where it's like, you don't need to what BVS did in a way of, you don't need to show me how many people died because Superman flew through a skyscraper. Just show me Superman fighting people, destroying thousands of buildings, destroying thousands of houses. We don't care as long as we see epic fight with 2 people.
See, this is Zack Snyder's problem, right? I mean, we spoke about this when we spoke about his Justice League. He's so obsessed in making it some fucking
human story.
Yeah, it's like, it needs to be about the characters. No, it's a superhero. I want to see Batman beat the shit out of someone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited for Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I think that Thingy's a good director. What's his name? The guy directing it. I forgot his name. The guy... Oh, shit.
John Wick guy, isn't it?
No, it's the guy who did the Planet of the Apes films, the new one.
Yeah.
No. Oh, God, no, I can't remember his name.
I'll Google it.
But he's a good director, though. Like, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is really good. War for the Planet of the Apes is good, not as good, but good. So I think it's good. The only thing is, I feel like he's going to do a similar... He's not going to go as stupid as Zack Snyder did with all the biblical fucking references and some shit. Matt Reeves, he's a good director. But I think he's going to do a similar thing that Joker did, where it's going to be like it's a character study, but not as much. But I just want Batman. I just want a story with Batman being Batman. Just, you know what I mean?
Genuinely, right? This is aesthetic, but I really want it. I want a blue Batman suit.
Yeah, I want blue suit. I want it blue cowl and cape with the blue gloves, grey with the yellow symbol.
Yes, please.
I want that. I want Robin in his bright, bloody yellow and red suit. It gives me that. You know what I mean?
It's funny how the most accurate representation of the Batman from the comics is the Lego Batman movie. Realistically,
I just want that. What I want. I want a Batman film in the same style as, you know what I mean? I get that Gotham City's, really dark and gloomy or whatever, but it's not, though. It's the aesthetic of Gotham City in the comics is, it's dark, but like the city's like bright red. And the best piece of media that captures Batman is the animated series.
I was just gonna say.
Series, and that's like technically the Arkham games as well, because I always consider those just a sequel anyway, because they're basically the same. The Batman, maybe not Arkham Knight, but Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and the animated series, they are the best. They could potentially just be pulled straight from the comics because they're just so. The only thing that's missing from them, and it's not actually missing from the games, is Batman narrating everything. Is him going, every time someone appears on the page, he goes, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, used to be Robin. Or like Selena Kyle, Catwoman. Like, yeah, I know who it is. But like, you know what I mean? That's the only thing. But like, I just want that. I want a Batman film. I want him to fight fucking Two-Face because Two-Face wants to blow up 2 cars or some shit, you know what I mean? I want Two-Face to be, you know what I mean? I want something good. And DC aren't providing. I know we're talking about what if, but we're not talking about what if, you know what I mean? But
what if this podcast wasn't about what if?
Yeah, that's right.
What if the show was good? Got him.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like, it just, it annoys me.
You watched it. You pay for that Disney Plus subscription. You're the problem.
Yeah. We all, I mean, I bought it. I did that. I fell for the buy it like a month in advance and you get £10 off. And then you just pay full price the following year. I did that.
Yeah, as well.
Well, they got me.
Got our money now. They can make whatever they want.
To be fair, though, all jokes aside regarding the amount of Disney media we're getting, Book of Boba Fett, we're all going to watch that religiously and probably love it because it's being made by people who genuinely get it. And also Hawkeye, which I feel is going to be really fun because I really like Jeremy Renner. I feel like he's a really funny guy.
Wait, whoa, hang on, back up. You are the only person I've ever met on Earth that's ever uttered the phrase, I really like Jeremy Renner.
I just think, the only media I've ever seen him in is Tag, and obviously the Avengers films. Of the Avengers films, but like in interviews and stuff, he seems really genuine and a nice guy. And I feel that Haley Steinfeld, I've seen her in loads of stuff, loads of the teen films and that, but also like Bumblebee, things like that. She's a really good actress, and I feel that she's probably got down the physical part. Obviously, but I think that, and also the fact that it's based around Christmas. For some reason, I feel that, like Iron Man 3 was, it's going to be a Christmas show. And I feel that it'll be nice and happy.
You're going to have all the different Christmas songs.
Yeah, it's going to have
the end of it. Each episode's
I want it to be like Die Hard, in the end. That's my hope.
Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised. And the director will come out and be like, I took inspiration from films like Die Hard. But yeah, I feel that Book of Boba Fett and Hawkeye, I feel that you have to get them really, really bad for people to not like them.
I will say this about the Book of Boba Fett, and I understand that I'm in the minority. What you got to understand is you're talking to number one Star Wars pedant in the entire world, the only guy who doesn't like The Mandalorian.
Oh no, he likes The Last Jedi.
I like The Last Jedi. I think The Last Jedi is the best piece of Star Wars media they've ever made. I think they're going in the complete wrong direction. I'll tell you now, I'm not fucking watching the Book of Boba Fett. Unless that show opens with Boba Fett tripping on a fucking banana peel and dying. Like smashing his face inside his helmet and just fucking dying. Right? And then somewhat... that's I'll watch it then.
Could you imagine if that's how it starts and then just as his face is inches away from the ground, he just pauses and is like, da-da-da-da. Yeah, so that's me. This is how
I bet you're wondering how I got here.
You're wondering how I got here. Let's go back a few weeks.
I'll watch that. I'll watch that show. But it's not going to be like that. What it's going to be is going to be Boba Fett doing epic, cool GIF fight scenes, and General Grievous is going to be in it, and Ahsoka's going to be in it, and Jango Fett's going to be in it, and Mace Windu's going to be in it, and Darth Revan's going to be in it.
Surely they won't bring back Mace Windu.
I reckon it's inevitable.
It's absolutely inevitable.
No way.
Chuck enough money Sam Jackson's way, it'll happen.
Yeah.
This is
Nobody dies from fall damage in the Star Wars universe, Joe. Name one.
This is going to sound really like I'm just sucking off Dave Filoni and John. They get it.
Yeah.
Surely they get it that much that they'll know that Mace Windu is dead. He is dead.
I don't know, Imagine.
Like Yoda is dead and literally disappeared.
They'll put him on a poster and the Disney Plus subscriptions will go up.
Whoa.
No, just
I genuinely never thought of that, and now I'm having a crisis.
Imagine. Just think about it though. Imagine what everyone's reaction is going to be when, like, that shot when they revealed that it was like, because we all knew, we saw the X-wing shot, and we were like, oh shit, there's no way. We saw someone find with the lightsaber, like, oh my god, it is.
Green
and then
lightsaber.
we saw the shot with the green lightsaber. We were like, oh shit, son, we know who it is. What's going to happen is there's going to be a situation. They're going to make I don't know, maybe everyone loves Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan show. They give him his own show or something. There's going to be a shot in the trailer where he's going to be walking somewhere. It's going to be dark, and then a purple lightsaber will come on, and it'll say Darth Vader or Vader or whatever, and we'll all lose our minds because it's like, oh fuck. It's gonna be Sam Jackson again, but it's gonna have like loads of like robotics. He's gonna be a robotic arm or some shit, and he's gonna be like evil or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I can see it happen.
The thing is, as much as I'm saying no, and I refuse to believe that the people in charge will do this, as soon as I see that purple lightsaber, I'll be like, oh god,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
what's gonna happen is it's the trailer's gonna leak. Not leak. The trailer's going to come out, and that purple lightsaber is going to be in it. And then you're going to send a message in the group chat about how much you love it, and I'm going to send this clip back to you.
No. I'd like to think, as you said, as that guy said, they only care about money. But I'd like to think that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I mean, Dave Filoni, that man is the biggest Star Wars virgin I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he knows. Like, in the behind the scenes, he knows everything. Yeah. His favourite Jedi is Plo Koon. You've got to be some sort of weird guy.
Do you love Dave Filoni for that? My favourite Jedi is Plo Koon. I love The Last Jedi. My favourite Jedi is Plo Koon. You know why? He's got a gold lightsaber. Plo Koon's motherfucking elite.
Yeah, I just...
Star Wars Jedi Power Battles on the PS1. I'm playing as Plo Koon.
But yeah, I'd just like to think that they wouldn't. But as you said, and the more I think about it, they will.
They will.
It's inevitable. I feel like it's inevitable. They're going the thing. They've officially said that. Oh, I mean, have they officially said that? Didn't they say that? What's his name from Knights of the Old Republic is officially canon again?
Darth Revan. Yeah.
Yeah. They said because everyone wanted it, and they were like, DC were like, Disney were like, no, I mean, no, we don't really want to do it. And everyone's like, no, do it. And they're like, okay. It's inevitable. It's just one of those things where, because there's loads of people who do actually want it. And I think it's just, it's going to be something when they do it. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think it was like a year ago now.
How with Boba Fett came back and was like, oh, Boba Fett's coming back. And it's going to be like, they will maybe keep it a secret. Or they'll announce that Sam Jackson's going to come back as Mace Windu. We're all going to know about it in advance.
They won't do.
I can see it.
I think it was a year ago that me and Jacob recorded a lot of podcasts about what we'd like to see from Star Wars going forward. And my concluding thought was, I just want to see new stuff. I think there's so much area of exploration from the Star Wars universe. We don't need to have necessarily Jedi and Sith. We can still have lightsabers. We'll still have the Force. I don't think we need to have Jedi and Sith. I don't think we need to have Stormtroopers. I think there's lots of area for exploration. The reality is they're not interested in taking those chances. They'll just keep going back to everything that's already happened. Recycle. Every new thing has to come with something old attached to it. I don't give a shit about Cal Kestis, right? I think that game's garbage. I don't like his character. But for the people who do like Cal Kestis, you don't get Cal Kestis without Saw Gerrera being in it. And you don't get Saw Gerrera without Darth Vader showing up in Rogue One. Always back. There's always something else to reference.
I suppose with saying that, you do have things, for example, episodes of The Mandalorian people claimed as filler that were probably the most fresh and non-referencey material you could get. Like when they went to that ice planet with the frog lady, and there's the old concept art by Ralph McQuarrie. Like those creatures exist, and like you'd never seen those before, unless I dick sucking Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni again, but like unless people who knew knew the stuff. Because if it was just Disney employed important person, they wouldn't have gone to an ice planet and fought monsters designed by Ralph McCroy. They would have gone to Tatooine and fought Jawas. They would have gone to Endor and fought teddy bears again. What are the names?
Ewoks.
You know, like, there is... I completely understand what you're saying in regards to everything has to come with something else. But I feel that there is room, and I feel that people are getting more and more comfortable with new stuff.
Yeah. I like the thing.
I like talk about, though. They talk about Ahsoka.
Yeah, true.
I think the balance of the thing with The Mandalorian is as good. Mandalorian Season 2 seemed like... I mean, The Mandalorian Season 2 was Dave Filoni being like, well, I mean, I want to see all these characters that I've designed in live action. Let's do it. And I mean, like, Thingy was good as live action Ahsoka. Like, I'm excited for her show, and I feel like he only put her in because he was like, because he that's his character, and he's like, I want to make her show. So he's like, Mandalorian, I'll do that. Yeah. So then, you know what I mean? Like, that Ahsoka episode was just a pilot, basically, for a Ahsoka show, and they're just adding. I think you've got a good balance in The Mandalorian, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know a lot of it is, like, what's the word when, you know, putting stuff in because they know the fans like
fan
to
service.
do it. I know a lot of it is fan service, and some people don't like fan service. I don't mind fan service. It's when it's really obvious fan service, you know what I mean? Like if, I don't know,
like Rogue One, when the two guys from the cantina bump into him, and they're like, hey, watch where you going?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, that's, you know, it's not necessary, but I don't mind some fan service. Like, I don't mind. I like seeing Luke again.
Oh, yeah.
I like seeing Ahsoka. I liked Bo-Katan being in it. That was pretty cool. You know, I know Boba Fett, everyone was like, you know, like you said, like, obviously Boba Fett in the original, like, George Lucas was like, he's just a bounty hunter, he's got some cool armor. You know, he dies in the most ridiculous way. But, like, that scene where he beat the shit out of the stormtroopers, it made me laugh because it just made me think of the scene from Robot Chicken where he comes back and he's like, back from the dead, assholes! And he's just, you know, it's stuff like that. It makes me laugh. I like it. And I'm excited for some of the stuff that's coming up. Oh, man, I'm so excited for Obi-Wan. So excited for the Obi-Wan show. So excited for that. It's going to be so sick to see Ewan McGregor again. Oh, man.
I hope in the Obi-Wan show we get to see him practice his he's just there, like, just practicing. He's just like,
I'd love it if there's a scene where he's practicing it, because obviously every version of Star Wars remastered has got a different version of that song. Yeah. I want to see him looking in a mirror, doing all the different ones. He's like, which one works the best? And then there's one where he's just screaming into the mirror. I'd love that. There's just what the first episode is him just bored on Tatooine, and he's just doing all this stuff. He's just, I don't know, walking along in the desert, and there's a one where he's testing all the different. That'd be sick. And then something happens, and like the thing with I was saying before about I don't mind some fan, like him fighting Darth Vader is pure fan service.
Yeah.
And when you watch the other films, the whole thing is that they fought on Mustafar, and then they haven't seen each other for 20 years, and then he died. But, like, and you know what? I don't even care. I just want to see them fight again.
For context purposes, before they fight on the Death Star in Episode 4, Obi-Wan knows who he is. Obi-Wan goes,
yeah, he finds out, yeah.
So, technically, even though it is fan service, it's adding context.
Yeah, like, it's thingy, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's all just made up, so I don't mind. I just want to see.
It's real life, Joe. It's in a galaxy far, far away.
A long time ago. No, I'm excited just to see them fight again.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Like the thing I think is, there's that whole thing, wasn't there, when they were writing it, and that apparently the original script was awful, and that's why it's taken them so long. I think the thing that they were stuck on was the fact that Obi-Wan was supposedly he never left Tatooine for those 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they've just been like, right, just fucking, he's gonna leave. We're gonna have him leave. It makes no sense to set the entire show on Tatooine.
He's gonna go and see Dexter Jettster again.
Yeah, let's just fucking they just decided like, fuck it, you know what I mean? People are gonna watch it because people want to see Obi-Wan. Let's just
text the Jetson.
Yeah, let's just do it. And then I think when they made that decision, they were like, yeah, fuck it, Darth Vader. Let's have him fight Darth Vader again because of course. Like, I reckon there's gonna be a bit where he's gonna hear about Darth Vader. And he's going to hear, like, oh, this guy sounds... And then he's going to find out that it's Anakin during the fight. I reckon that's what's going to happen.
You know what?
Like the Ahsoka one where she sees his face under the mask and hears his voice and she's like, oh, shit. I reckon it's going to be something like that.
You know what I like? It's pure rough fan service, and it kind of does... like, and I've been a big proponent against the Vader Obi-Wan fight happening again, to be honest with you. But if they go absolutely fucking balls to the walls with it, right? If they try and up the Mustafar fight,
well,
I'll be up for it. If they have a lightsaber fight on a Star Destroyer, and over the course of the fight, they bring the Star Destroyer down.
That's sick. Imagine.
Well, the thing is, context-wise, they are both at the highest level at this point.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's already proven he is epic Jedi. Anakin's basically just become Vader, so he's just full of anger and rage, which will make him epic Jedi. These are like the fight in Episode 3. Personally, I wouldn't say is that both of them at their highest level. Whereas I feel that the one that we're going to see in Kenobi would be.
Yeah.
So it should be
like
way ridiculous.
Shit,
yeah, like stupid stuff.
Them fighting brings down a Star Destroyer, and then you have to fit like that bit in do you remember Force Unleashed where you have to do the whole. It's like that, but the two of them are like. If you sit there trying to like push it towards each other or some shit,
I'm sure,
just ridiculous shit. That's just so cool.
I'm sure there's a comic, like a Star Wars, almost like a Star Wars What If, and I'm sure in one of them, basically, long story short, Luke goes to Dagobah. Yoda's like, "Oh, I'll come with you to the Death Star," and basically Yoda force drives the Death Star into Endor.
Amazing. I love it.
Just like stuff like that that's ridiculous, but they'll look so good.
You know what I want to see in live action? There is a moment from a Star Wars comic that's legitimately cool. I want to see. It's from a comic called Vader Down, right? Where it was like a little Star Wars event comic. I can't remember if it was like Vader and Luke, like they crash into each other or something. Whatever. They both end up on this planet, but in separate places. When amongst Vader's wreckage, a bunch of rebel troopers like show up and surround him, and there's like 50 rebel troopers all around him in this pit. And he looks around, he doesn't answer them, doesn't draw his lightsaber or anything, just stands there, spots one of them's got a thermal detonator on their belt, detonates it using the Force, and it triggers a chain reaction of all the thermal detonators going off. It's sick.
It's so good. That's what I want that. I reckon you're going to have a lot of, in the Obi-Wan show, stuff, just cool Darth Vader stuff, you know what I mean? Like just Rogue One corridor scene, but as just Darth Vader, just going like mad on like a bunch of rebels and just doing just sick stuff.
There's so much content. For example, like there's another comic as well. I'm pretty sure it's canon, but like obviously when Palpatine starts sending Vader on missions, Stormtroopers don't know who he is. Stormtroopers shoot at him. Stormtroopers are terrified of this guy. And it's just stuff like that to see people react to him.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. But
like people not knowing who he is.
You never know.
We
never know. I mean, I'm happy leaving it in the capable hands of John and Dave.
John and Dave. Hey, the two guys you meet down at the pub, you know what I mean?
I want to see a show about Brian Blessed's character from The Phantom Menace. The fucking king of Boss Nass. What was he called? That guy. What was he called?
He was called Boss Nass. It was
Oh, he was called Boss Nass. I thought the place was called Boss Nass.
No, the place. Oh, what's the place called?
Gungan City. Or
Gungan. Like, I'm pretty sure it's.
Could you imagine an office-style show in Gungan City? That'd be amazing. Oh, that's what's for speed. Imagine if they just do
Jar Jar, you put my beans in jello again.
That'd be so sick. Oh my god, imagine, that'd be the best.
Jar Jar, you silly bitch.
We can only dream, eh? We can only dream.
There we go, Disney.
Oh, holy shit. That was a good episode.
What If didn't talk about What If at all. It's just everything else under the sun, apart from What If.
I can't wait to discover that the Star Wars chat was longer than the What If chat. It probably fucking was, you know.
We'll end it on Sam. Your 3 episodes you watched. What are you going to give What If out of 10?
I'm gonna.
As of right now, only seen 3.
What? No, I really hate the second one. 2 out of 10.
No, 8 out of 9.
I'd say I've seen. I mean, I didn't see the thingy one either. The one with Michael B. Jordan's character, but he saves Tony Stark. Because I was just told that it's just the same, but he just does that a few years earlier or some shit. So I've seen how many? There's 9. I've seen 7. I think the second to last episode. I haven't seen the last episode, obviously. It redeems it a bit, so I'm gonna give it like a 6.
Yeah,
I'd say. But I imagine if I'd seen the last episode, the 2, maybe a 7. But I'd have to see the last episode. The second last episode's pretty good. It's good to see Ultron again. It's sad that it's not James Spader though. So yeah, I'd say 6.
9. Haven't seen all of them. The final 2 episodes save it in an incredibly needed way. If the last 2 episodes were just, here's the story of, I don't know, Thor, but Thor's a girl. If there were just more episodes like that, it genuinely, and I love Marvel, and I'm the biggest consumer of it ever, it'd be a 4, the whole series as a whole. But because of the last 2 episodes, I'd give it at least 6, 7, I'd say 6.5, 6.5.
Let me ask you this, Joe, as a closing question.
Okay.
They made a deal beforehand about how it's definitely canon. You should be watching it. By the end of it, do you feel like it firmly establishes itself as a part of the MCU? Like, is there an after credits scene where it's like, yep, it matters?
I feel that the character of the Watcher, if he wasn't brought in almost as his own hero in the final 2 episodes, I would genuinely think this could be important. Because this character of the Watcher, yes, even though it's in the What If universe, he knows our MCU universe. Is it 999 or whatever ours? What's it?
Yeah, it's up there in the thousands or something.
Whatever our universe, he knows about that one. He talks about that one. So this Watcher, in real form, I'll say in real form, IRL form, in MCU form, is real. We may see him at some point, but the fact that they bring him in as a character, as someone who just goes, "Here's your mission, save the multiverse," ruins it for me.
Right.
And I wouldn't for example, as I said before, my mum, who thinks she likes to watch all the Marvel content, she's seen Loki, she's seen Falcon and Winter Soldier. If she asked, "Shall I watch What If?" I'll probably say no. Which in a way, it's sad because it's the first piece of Marvel content I would have ever said no to. But it's just not important. And that's sad in a way.
It's sad because it's kind of it's an interesting concept. I think it's it's a good because like I said before, DC have some real. I mean, DC, though Elseworld stuff is some of the best stuff. So if it was the other way around, if DC doing this instead, it should be really good. It's just an interesting to see because that's why some of them are so good, is because these different scenarios create some really good stories. But it's just I think the problem is they've played it safe with it.
Definitely.
They could have gone absolutely crazy, and they've kind of played it safe a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if they do a season 2, maybe they'll go a bit more thingy, bit more based on. But I don't know.
I'd say 2 words: unfulfilled potential.
Wow.
Is how I describe the whole series.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Outtakes Podcast. Thanks for joining us, Joe and Joe, J&J podcasters. I don't know. If you want to check out more content, hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting app's little feed or on our YouTube channel and share it with your mates. That'd be cool. You can also check out what we're going to be doing on our socials at The Real Outtakes at Twitter and Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.